Alright, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to install the retrofit muffler onto your oxygen concentrator. First, we want to start off by removing the old compressor. So this is the easiest way to do so. You want to remove straps at these 2 points. You can slightly give it a little tear because we're going to cut this shorter. You want to cut these zip ties. Once you have it like this, give it a slight tear. You're gonna be reusing this hose. Just do that the other way. Easiest way, grab your 9/16 wrench, undo this fitting right here. And you want to completely twist this off. This. Grab your 9/16 again. Remove this fitting. Make sure you get a pick and remove all the Teflon in there before reinstalling. So you want to remove the pressure relief valve. Get a 5/8. Comes off. You want to remove all the fittings from the compressor while it's still installed. It's easier to work like that. You want to turn this around. You're going to grab that same 5/8, undo this fitting right here. That breaks loose. Push it down, undo it. You could also use your 5/8. But I would recommend using that's it. The compressor is held down by 4 bolts. Remove them all. Very important right here. These 2 compressor wires. You want to nip them. Undo this ground. Compressor should come out. Once you have the compressor off, you have your new compressor that you get in your kit. You're gonna reuse all the fittings that you removed. The straight fitting, the pressure relief valve, the outlet fitting, and the exhaust fitting. So, and then you remove these from the old compressor, the rubber feet. You're gonna reinstall them. Leave this for last. You wanna get the exhaust. You want it facing outwards. So you wanna tighten it. It's easier to tighten without those feet on there. You want to leave it nice and kind of like an angle or kind of straight. You could adjust it once you install it to the coil. You have your intake. You want to install that first before you install the pressure relief valve because it will get in the way. And you want to leave this one installed at an angle, not straight up. And then you want to get your pressure relief valve. You grab your 5/8. And remember to remove all the old Teflon, re-Teflon them. I give them 5 wraps. Tying this down. So there you go, all the fittings are installed. So you can put it on the back, grab the feet, just give them a nice little hand tight. And then your compressor is ready to get reinstalled. And that's how you prep your new compressor, getting it ready to install it to your unit. So now I'm going to show you how to prep the coil. So you want to remove this black hose that is attached to the coil here. Easiest way to do that without having to undo everything else. Grab the fitting with the 9/16. Just break tension. There ain't that much tension there, just because it's a hose, it's not a. So you really do want to save these the nuts. So grab some tubing cutters, cut at the center. This is pretty much trash. In your parts bag that you will receive 2 ferrules, 2 inner tubes. So what you want to do, you want to grab your piece that you got in your kit as well. Don't forget to put the metal tubes in there on both ends, just like that. So it goes first the ferrule, then the tube, just like that. Try to avoid that. Once it's in there, hand tying it, make sure you're pushing down on it so it actually grips it. You want to do the same thing. Hold it, just tying it up. So once it's tight, that's prepped. Same thing for the other side. First tube, you install the ferrule, and you're done prepping that. And this will go to the exhaust on the compressor. So once you have your compressor prepped, you want to grab the wires, tuck them underneath, like this. You want to insert them in the holes. You want to bolt down the compressor. So the 4 bolts that you removed, you want to re-put them on there. Tying them down. Use whatever tool is handier for you that you have. make sure you tighten it down really good. I'm gonna skip that just to get down to the how to install it. So once you have it like this tube needs to bend into here. So your exhaust tube will go in there. Once you have it in there, make sure it's pushed in really good in there. Then hand tighten it. Grab your 5/8 once more. And tighten it down. And don't forget that copper tube that goes inside the black tube and then the ferrule. When reinstalling this, there you go. Once it's all nice and tight, you're done with this part, and we'll go down, explain how to wire this all into the system. So now I'm going to show you how to wire it all in. Grab your capacitor, strip it, like leaving the wires that long. You want to strip maybe 4 inches off of it, or you don't have to strip it. You don't have to cut it at all. You strip both ends. You received 5 of these cons in your parts bag. You grab your tool to crimp it together. You want to make sure you give it a little twist so it doesn't bend the wire. Once you have it in there, crimp both ends. So you crimp the black and the red wire like that. Easiest way for me to do it, you want to sip this down, zip tie it down. So you grab a zip tie that you grabbed, barely even give it a nice little start. You want to put it through the wire like that. And you want to leave enough room so that hooks onto the bottom. There's a little slot down here. We want to get that in there. And again, you can do it however is easier for you. This is how I do it. So now I have it in there, tighten it down, get the zip tie nice and tight. We'll cut the zip ties off later. Then you grab your 2 red wires that come from the compressor. You're gonna crimp them, 1 on each one. I'll skip the crimping part just to get to the other part. You have 2 black wires. You're gonna route them, and they're gonna plug into where we cut the old compressor. So you have your 2 wires right here, your power in. You want to strip both wires. You want to route these where it's gonna make connection, and then you cut there. I'm gonna go ahead and strip both ends. Same thing. So once both black wires have the connector on them, you want to route them. And then you just connect. There's really no messing this up. Just one goes to blue, one goes to brown. Of course. Crimp them. Give it a nice little twist to the wire so they slip right in. Make sure it's crimping it. You don't want to have a bad crimp, because then you only do get exact pieces. You only get 5 in your kit. You would have to source them yourself. Once that's there, same thing with the ground. This compressor does have a ground wire. The existing ground wire in the unit, you want to just route it. So where you're not giving it too much tension, so give it some slack. Where they unite, cut both of them. Cut your existing wire, cut the compressor wire, strip both ends, crimp them. Twist the wire a little bit, makes your job, your life easier. Allows you to push the wire in further, securing a nice crimp. Crimp it. Crimp it to the ground. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and connect the capacitor and include it in the video as well. Give it a little bit of slack so it's not all, the wire's not really tightened up. Don't want to leave it too stiff. Give it some room. Strip both ends, both red wires coming from the compressor. Go ahead and do that. Once you have them in there, grab your crimper. And again, this is how I do it. You can do all the crimping out before you zip tie anything down. Whatever works for you, makes it easier for you. Go ahead and do it that way. The result's the same. So once everything's crimped, everything's ready to go. So you have your line connected to your compressor, so you have power to your compressor. Capacitor is crimped on, ground is in place. That's pretty much it for the wiring part. So now I'm going to show you how to prep the muffler itself. So the existing hose that did come out of the unit, we're going to still use it. We did tear a little bit of the tips with the blade to take it off easily. Make sure you cut it flush again, removing the bad hose, both ends. So what we want to do is the same piece that we removed from this, the bottom fitting, we're going to reuse it to attach it to the actual oxygen concentrator. You want to make sure you clean out all the Teflon that's in there. Want to reinstall that. Grab your 9/16. If you have a ratchet, even better. Tighten it down. Make sure you read the Teflon. Everything. 5 wraps is recommended. So what you do, you want to go ahead and the tube that you receive in your parts bag, you want to put it here. You want to push it all the way in. You did receive 2 clamps, hose clamps. You want to go ahead and install one already, just to leave it prepped. You use a flathead, or if you have a nut drive like this one, makes your job easier. And then you want to go ahead and grab the hose that we removed from the unit, reinstall it onto the intake of it. Go ahead and add a clamp. And then you're ready to install it. So next I'm going to show you guys how to actually install the muffler onto the unit. So you'll receive a strap. You want to go ahead and start tying it just around the sib bed. So once you have it kind of snug, kind of halfway screwed in, you want to go ahead and cut this hose to size. You're going to kind of rest this muffler against the sib bed like this. This will go right here. Your next hose will connect on top of it. So once you cut it to length, you want to make sure you have your strap in there. You want to push this in here all the way in. Once it's in there, you want to go ahead and tighten the strap down. Once that's in there, you want to go ahead and you place it like that. That seems like it's perfectly on there like that. You can tighten this last once this is all done. So you get the existing hose coming from the intake of the compressor, and you just want to kind of measure it to where you feel is a good fit. There's no exact measurement. So like right there, go ahead and cut your hose. Go ahead and all the way down, tying down the last clamp right here. And then you want to go ahead and finish tying the big clamp. And that should be it for us here. So once it's nice and tight, you can bring this down. Just leave it like that. And voila. Lastly, what you want to do is grab an extra zip tie that you will have and just kind of make your wiring going from the compressor to the board nice and neat. There's a little slot down here where you can just hook in a strap right there. Once that's there, give it a nice little tight. Go ahead and cut your zip ties. Going at the capacitor as well, because it does get hot in there. And just go have a few extra zip ties. Just use them to make everything nice and neat. Just route your wires really nicely. Try to keep them away from the edge, just in case if you have to remove the cover, it never slams on the wires. Keep them nice and close to the zip beds. Same thing with the fan connection. And this goes up right there, tying that up. And this is how your unit should look once it's finished. You have your muffler. You got your PRV valve, your intake valve, new compressors in there. That's it. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the sound quality between both of them, so you can hear the regular one is a little bit louder, and now we're going to hear the one we just did the upgrade to. It is a big difference. Hopefully the video is helpful. If not, if you still have any questions, feel free to email us, FaceTime us. I can walk you through it step by step if you have any issues on the video. Thank you.